in Georgia, we're going to have we're actually going to have a court hearing, an actual trial on these machines. And this is interesting. Marilyn Marks, who's a Democrat, brought this suit and said, look, and this was after Stacey Abrams got beat by Kemp in 2022, and she said, hey, I want to be sure these machines are accurate, so I want to go audit them. She couldn't get access to it, so she brought a suit to Georgia. It got in front of Judge Totenberg. By the way, Nina Totenberg's sister, very liberal judge, but fair. Totenberg's got a reputation for fairness. So what this trial is, basically what Marilyn Marks and her organization said is the machines are not they're not auditable. You can't trust them. You can hack into them. The machine owners already said there's a problem with it. There's a patch. Raffensperger's not putting in the patch for 24. He says that's the Secretary of State there. He says he doesn't have the time to do it. She brought the suit. Raffensperger wanted it dismissed. No, it's going to trial starting January 9th, also the first week of the Georgia General Assembly. Break this down for us, Courtney Kramer.
Yeah, John, well, this is great news. A couple weeks ago, on November 10th, Judge Totenberg issued her order. And basically what happened was the state, the defendant, the Secretary of State's office filed a motion for summary judgment, which that means basically you're saying that there are no disputed material facts. Basically that they're saying that as in regards to the voting machines, that they think that they are completely fine. They're not hackable. All the things that you've consistently heard out of the Secretary of State's office. Basically, Judge Totenberg issued a 130-page order detailing out the saga. And she even calls it a wild ride since 2017 that this lawsuit was. It started as Furling v. Raffensperger, as you know, and then we have more plaintiffs. And then we also have had this for, I guess, 5-6 years now. And so we're finally getting to the point where we're going to have a bench trial in January, and she's going to rule on the facts of this case. Obviously, there's disputed facts, which means the judge does not think that all of the facts from the Secretary of State's side are basically they're disputed by the plaintiffs, which is, of course. And I think that this ruling, this order from her, is a great step in the right direction. No one's really ever had their day in court. Granted, this will be limited to certain issues that she has detailed out in her order. However, in her order, she also states a lot of great facts for us, for the people, for those who have been called election deniers by the Secretary of State's office, which is just completely ridiculous to me. But she details out the issues with QR codes, with using the Dominion machines in general. She says that our legislator needs to work something out. We've got to work something out with the Secretary of State's office. She cannot issue herself an order that says that Georgia needs to go to paper ballots, but she does detail out who can. And I think that come January 9th, that week will be imperative for our state. I think we're going to see a lot of key players, a lot of movements before that. And, we are in redistricting. Tomorrow, Wednesday of this week, they actually start their special session here in Georgia for redistricting. Granted, this subject matter is not on the table for this special session. However, I guarantee you it will be talked about, it will be discussed, and something's going to have to happen, especially when you have a ruling from a federal judge that's finally in favor, for our position for once. I think this is great news, and she even says that, and I'll read it directly, that's why I'm going to look down, but in footnote 2 of her order, she says, the court notes that the record evidence does not suggest that the plaintiffs are conspiracy theorists in any way, and that some of the nation's leading experts in national security have provided testimony in this matter. That is so telling. We have had so many key pieces of evidence come out since 2017. You've had the Halderman report. You've had the Sizer report come out. You have had the Coffee County debacle come out since then. I think that finally we're getting to the point where we are going to hear what a federal judge is going to rule on, and you're going to hear from the federal judge that we do need to get rid of the QR codes at a bare minimum, but we've got to figure something out going forward. And the state has to prove that the Dominion machines are going to be adequate enough for the 2024 primaries during that trial. So we will see what happens. But like we've discussed, John, I think this is a great movement for Republicans, a great movement for Patriots.